Title: You Are Stronger Than You Think. Believe It, by AI Audiobooks, Empire. Introduction. Strength is not measured by the absence of struggle, but by the courage to rise in the face of it. Every human being carries within them a reservoir of resilience, often hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. The tragedy is not that people are weak, but that they fail to recognize the power already inside them. This audiobook is a journey to awaken that strength, to help you believe in it, and to live as proof that you are far stronger than you think. Strength is not something you acquire from the outside. It is something you uncover from within. Life has already tested you in ways you may have forgotten. Heartbreaks you survived. Failures you endured. Storms you weathered. Each of those moments was proof that you are capable of more than you realize. Yet, because strength often reveals itself quietly, without applause or recognition, many dismiss it as ordinary survival, but survival itself is extraordinary. Every time you chose to keep going when quitting felt easier, you were demonstrating a strength that deserves to be honored. The truth is, strength is not glamorous. It is not always celebrated or noticed. It is often silent, hidden in the choices you make when no one is watching. It is the decision to rise after disappointment, the discipline to keep working when progress feels slow, and the courage to face tomorrow, even when today has been heavy. Strength is not about being fearless. It is about moving forward despite fear. It is not about being unbroken. It is about being broken and still refusing to give up. This audiobook is not about convincing you to become strong because you already are. It is about helping you see what has always been there. It is about teaching you to believe in your own resilience, to recognize the wisdom that pain has given you, and to embrace the courage that has carried you this far. You are stronger than you think, and once you believe it, your life will transform. Strength will no longer be something you hope for. It will be something you live, something you embody, and something you inspire in others. If you are here listening, welcome to AI Audiobooks Empire. This channel is dedicated to bringing you stories, principles, and wisdom that uplift, empower, and transform lives. Every narration is crafted to inspire discipline, resilience, and intentional living values that guide us toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Now, let us begin our journey into You Are Stronger Than You Think. Believe It. Chapter 1. The Hidden Reservoir of Strength. Life often reveals our strength in moments we least expect. When hardship strikes, we discover that we can endure far more than we imagined. Strength is not always loud or visible. Sometimes, it is the quiet persistence of waking up each day and choosing to keep going. Real strength is revealed in the unseen battles, the tears wiped away in silence, the decisions made in solitude, and the courage to face tomorrow, despite yesterday's pain. It is the resilience that whispers, "I will not give up," even when the weight of the world feels unbearable. Strength is not about perfection, but about persistence. Many believe they must be flawless to be strong. Yet, true resilience is born in imperfection. It is in the cracks of our humanity that light enters, teaching us humility, patience, and endurance. The strongest people are not those who never fall, but those who rise every time they do. Each stumble becomes a lesson, each scar a reminder, and each setback a stepping stone toward wisdom. Strength is not the absence of weakness. It is the mastery of weakness. The decision to keep moving forward, even when you feel broken. When you look back at your life, you will realize that you have already overcome storms that once felt impossible. That realization is proof of your hidden reservoir of strength. You have endured heartbreaks, disappointments, and failures. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still capable of more. The question is not whether you are strong, but whether you believe it enough to keep moving forward. Strength is not something you wait to receive. It is something you choose to recognize. And once you believe in it, you unlock a power that transforms not only your life, but also the lives of those who witness your resilience. Chapter 2. Belief as the Foundation. Belief is the seed from which strength grows. Without belief, even the most capable person remains paralyzed by doubt. Belief is not wishful thinking. It is conviction. It is the inner voice that whispers, "You can," when the world shouts, "You cannot." It is the invisible force that turns hesitation into action and uncertainty into courage. Belief is the foundation upon which every achievement is built. Because before you can accomplish anything in the world, you must first convince yourself that it is possible. Without belief, talent remains dormant, opportunities pass unnoticed, and potential lies wasted. With belief, however, even the smallest step becomes a declaration of strength. When you believe in yourself, you unlock courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it, and belief fuels that decision. Every breakthrough in history was born from someone who believed when others doubted, who acted when others hesitated, and who persisted when others quit. Belief is what allows you to take risks, to endure setbacks, and to rise again after failure. It is the quiet confidence that tells you the storm will pass, the conviction that your effort will matter, and the assurance that your journey has meaning. Without belief, fear becomes a prison. With belief, fear becomes a challenge to overcome. Belief transforms weakness into strength. It reframes challenges as opportunities and failures as lessons. When you believe, you stop seeing obstacles as barriers and start seeing them as stepping stones. Belief is the lens that changes how you interpret your struggles. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you begin to ask, "What can I learn?" Instead of seeing defeat, you see growth. Instead of focusing on what you lack, you focus on what you can build. Belief is not blind optimism. It is a disciplined choice to trust in your ability to grow, adapt, and endure. And once you choose to believe, you discover that strength was never something you had to chase. It was something you had to recognize. Chapter 3. The Power of Perspective. Your perspective determines your strength. Two people can face the same challenge, yet one crumbles while the other grows. The difference lies not in the weight of the burden, but in the lens through which they see it. Perspective is the filter that shapes your reality, the silent interpreter that decides whether you see obstacles as prisons or as pathways. When you shift your perspective, you shift your power. What once felt unbearable becomes manageable, and what once seemed like defeat transforms into an opportunity for growth. Perspective allows you to reframe pain as growth. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you begin to ask, "What can I learn?" This simple shift changes everything. Pain no longer feels like punishment. It becomes a teacher. Struggles no longer feel like setbacks. They become stepping stones. Perspective teaches you that wisdom is often hidden inside suffering, waiting to be uncovered by those willing to look deeper. When you choose to see pain as a lesson, you discover that every hardship carries within it a seed of strength, a hidden gift that can shape your character and refine your resilience. When you choose a perspective of resilience, you discover that strength is not about avoiding storms, but about learning to dance in the rain. Life will always bring challenges, but your perspective decides whether those challenges break you or build you. A resilient perspective allows you to see beyond the immediate discomfort and recognize the long-term growth it produces. It teaches you to embrace the process, to trust the journey, and to find meaning even in the struggle. With the right perspective, you realize that storms are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to prepare you for the sunlight that follows. Chapter 4. Courage in the face of fear. Fear is natural, but it is also deceptive. It convinces you that you are weaker than you are, whispering lies that paralyze action and magnify doubt. Fear tells you that failure will destroy you, that rejection will define you, and that risk will ruin you. Yet, the truth is that fear is only as powerful as the attention you give it. Courage is the antidote, and courage is born from strength. Courage does not erase fear, it confronts it. It is the quiet but firm declaration that says, "I will move forward anyway." Courage is choosing to act, even when fear screams at you to stop. It is standing firm when uncertainty surrounds you. And it is taking the first step when the path ahead is unclear. Courage is not reckless. It is deliberate. It acknowledges the danger, but refuses to be controlled by it. Every act of courage, no matter how small, chips away at fear's grip. Speaking up when silence feels safer, trying again after failure, or daring to dream when doubt clouds your vision. These are all acts of courage that prove your strength. Courage is not about eliminating fear. It is about refusing to let fear dictate your choices. Real-life heroes are not fearless. They are ordinary people who chose courage in extraordinary circumstances. Their strength lies in their decision to move forward despite fear. The parent who works tirelessly to provide for their children, the student who pursues education despite obstacles, the leader who stands for truth in the face of criticism, all are examples of courage in action. Courage is not reserved for the battlefield or the spotlight. It is lived daily in the quiet choices that shape our lives. When you choose courage, you discover that fear is not a wall, but a shadow, and shadows vanish when you step into the light of action. Chapter 5. Discipline builds strength. Discipline is the daily practice of strength. It is the choice to do what is necessary, even when it is difficult, even when comfort tempts you to stop. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement, the invisible force that transforms dreams into reality. Without discipline, strength remains potential, unused and untested. With discipline, strength becomes progress, and progress becomes resilience. Discipline is not glamorous. It is often quiet, repetitive, and unnoticed. Yet, it is in those unnoticed moments, the early mornings, the late nights, the consistent routines, that true strength is forged. Strength without discipline is wasted potential. Many people possess talent, intelligence, or ambition, but without discipline, these gifts fade into frustration. Discipline is the structure that channels energy into results. It is the difference between wishing and working, between hoping and building. Discipline teaches you that success is not about sudden bursts of effort, but about steady, consistent action. It is the daily decision to keep promises to yourself, to honor commitments, and to resist the temptation of shortcuts. Discipline is the quiet architect of resilience, laying brick upon brick until a fortress of strength stands unshakable. Instead, they rely on principle, on the steady rhythm of doing what must be done regardless of how they feel. Discipline is the proof of your strength in action, the daily evidence that you are stronger than you think. And when life tests you, it is discipline that will hold you steady, reminding you that true strength is not found in occasional effort, but in consistent endurance. Chapter 6. The Role of Pain in Growth. Pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It refines character and reveals resilience. Pain strips away illusions, forcing you to confront reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. It humbles you, reminding you that strength is not found in ease, but in endurance. Pain is the fire that burns away weakness, the storm that tests your foundation, and the weight that builds your endurance. Without pain, growth remains shallow, untested, and fragile. With pain, growth becomes deep, lasting, and unshakable. When you endure pain, you discover strength you never knew you had. Pain teaches patience when progress feels slow, humility when pride tempts you to believe you are invincible, and endurance when life demands more than you thought you could give. Every scar becomes a reminder of resilience. Every hardship, a lesson in perseverance. Pain reveals that you are capable of surviving storms that once seemed impossible. It shows you that your limits are not fixed, but expandable, stretched by every challenge you face. Pain is not a punishment. It is preparation. It equips you for greater battles, greater responsibilities, and greater victories. The strongest people are not those who avoid pain, but those who embrace it as part of growth. They understand that pain is not a sign of weakness, but a signal of transformation. Growth without pain is impossible because change always requires discomfort. Muscles grow by tearing and healing. Wisdom grows by failing and learning. And character grows by enduring and overcoming. To reject pain is to reject growth. To embrace pain is to embrace the process of becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Pain may hurt in the moment, but it leaves behind strength that lasts a lifetime. Chapter 7. Confidence through action. Confidence is not given, it is built, and it is built through action. You cannot wait for confidence to arrive before you begin. You must begin, and confidence will follow. Confidence is not a gift handed down from others, nor is it a feeling that magically appears. It is the result of choices, of steps taken, of risks embraced. Every time you act despite doubt, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Confidence is not born in theory, it is born in practice. It is the evidence you create when you move forward, even when uncertainty surrounds you. Every time you act despite doubt, you strengthen your confidence. Small victories accumulate into unshakable belief. The person who speaks up in a meeting despite trembling hands. The student who studies despite feeling unprepared. The athlete who trains despite fatigue. Each of these actions builds confidence, brick by brick. Confidence is not about waiting until you feel ready. It is about acting and discovering that readiness grows through action. The more you act, the more evidence you gather that you are capable, and that evidence becomes the foundation of belief. Confidence is not a sudden leap. It is a steady climb, built one step at a time. Confidence is proof of strength in motion. It is the visible evidence of your inner resilience. When you act, you show yourself that fear does not control you, that doubt does not define you, and that setbacks do not stop you. Confidence is not arrogance. It is assurance. It is the quiet certainty that you can face challenges because you have faced them before. It is the strength to stand tall, not because you are flawless, but because you are willing. Confidence is the outward reflection of inner strength, the living testimony that you are stronger than you think. And the more you act, the more your confidence grows until it becomes unshakable, a force that carries you through every storm and into every victory. Chapter 8. Resilience in Relationships. Strength is tested in relationships. Forgiveness requires strength. Love requires resilience. Relationships are not simply about companionship. They are about growth, sacrifice, and endurance. They demand that you show up not only in moments of joy, but also in moments of pain. True resilience in relationships is revealed when misunderstandings arise, when disappointments occur, and when differences challenge unity. It is in those moments that strength is measured, not by how loudly you defend yourself, but by how patiently you listen, how humbly you forgive, and how courageously you choose to love again. Relationships demand patience, humility, and endurance. They reveal whether your strength is selfish or selfless. Anyone can love when it is easy, but resilience is proven when love is tested. Patience teaches you to wait without resentment. Humility teaches you to admit when you are wrong, and endurance teaches you to keep choosing connection even when it feels difficult. These qualities are not signs of weakness, they are signs of strength. To remain committed, to keep building trust, and to continue nurturing love, despite challenges, requires a depth of resilience that few recognize until they are tested. True strength is not just surviving alone, but thriving in connection with others. Isolation may feel safe, but it does not refine you the way relationships do. It is in relationships that you learn empathy, compassion, and sacrifice. It is in relationships that you discover the strength to forgive, the courage to trust again, and the resilience to keep loving even after being hurt. The strongest people are not those who stand alone, but those who stand together, who build bridges instead of walls, and who choose connection over isolation. Resilience in relationships is proof that strength is not only about enduring life's storms alone, but about weathering them together, hand in hand, heart to heart. Chapter 9. The Strength of Purpose. Purpose fuels strength. When you know why you are fighting, you can endure almost anything. Purpose is the anchor that steadies you when storms rage, the compass that directs you when the path is unclear, and the fire that keeps you moving when exhaustion tempts you to stop. Without purpose, strength feels scattered, wasted on pursuits that do not matter. But with purpose, every ounce of effort is channeled into something meaningful, something that outlasts the moment and leaves a legacy. Purpose transforms ordinary endurance into extraordinary resilience, because it gives you a reason to rise even when life feels heavy. Purpose gives meaning to pain and direction to effort. It transforms struggle into progress. Pain without purpose feels unbearable, but pain with purpose becomes fuel. Athletes endure grueling training because they see the victory ahead. Parents sacrifice tirelessly because they see the future of their children. Leaders withstand criticism because they believe in the vision they carry. Purpose reframes suffering, turning it into investment. It whispers that the hardship is not wasted, that the tears are not meaningless, and that the struggle is shaping you for something greater. With purpose, even the darkest valleys become pathways to growth. Strength without purpose is wasted energy. It is like a river with no banks, flowing aimlessly without direction. Purpose channels strength into destiny. It ensures that your resilience is not just about survival, but about significance. When you live with purpose, your strength is multiplied because it is tied to meaning. You no longer endure simply to get through the day. You endure because your life has a mission. Purpose makes strength sustainable because it connects your effort to something larger than yourself. And when you discover that purpose, you realize that your strength is not only for you, it is for the people you serve, the vision you carry, and the legacy you leave behind. Chapter 10. Faith in the Unseen. Faith is strength in the unseen. It is believing in outcomes before they manifest, trusting in possibilities even when evidence seems scarce. Faith is not blind optimism. It is a disciplined conviction that what you are working toward will bear fruit in time. It is the courage to plant seeds without immediately seeing the harvest, the patience to endure seasons of waiting, and the resilience to keep moving forward when clarity is absent. Faith is the invisible power that sustains you when logic says to quit, reminding you that unseen forces are often the strongest. Faith allows you to endure uncertainty with confidence. It anchors you when the path is unclear, when the future feels unpredictable, and when doubt threatens to overwhelm. Faith whispers that the journey has meaning, even when the destination is hidden. It teaches you to trust the process, to believe that every step matters, and to hold on when circumstances tempt you to let go. Faith is not about ignoring reality. It is about seeing beyond it. It is the strength to believe that setbacks are temporary, that growth is happening beneath the surface, and that perseverance will eventually reveal the reward. Spiritual strength is often the deepest form of resilience, sustaining you when nothing else can. When resources run dry, when human support fades, and when your own strength feels depleted, faith becomes the well you draw from. It is the assurance that you are not alone, that there is a greater purpose guiding your steps, and that your struggle is shaping you for something beyond what you can see. Faith is the quiet confidence that tomorrow holds promise, even if today feels heavy. It is the unseen strength that carries you through valleys, lifts you over mountains, and reminds you that you are stronger than you think, not because you see the outcome, but because you believe in it. Chapter 11. The Strength of Persistence. Persistence is the ultimate proof of strength. Talent may open doors, but persistence keeps them open. Opportunities may appear, but only persistence allows you to seize them fully. Persistence is the quiet force that refuses to be silenced, the steady rhythm that continues long after excitement fades. It is the discipline of showing up again and again, even when progress feels invisible. Persistence is not glamorous. It is often repetitive, exhausting, and unnoticed. Yet, it is persistence that separates those who dream from those who achieve, those who start from those who finish. Persistence is refusing to quit when progress is slow. It is enduring when others give up, holding on when the journey stretches longer than expected. Persistence is the decision to keep walking, even when the destination feels far away. The courage to keep building, even when results are delayed. It is the strength to resist discouragement, to silence the voice that says, "Stop," and to trust that every effort is compounding beneath the surface. Persistence teaches you that success is not sudden. It is the accumulation of countless small actions, repeated faithfully over time. Strength is revealed not in one victory, but in the decision to keep fighting until the battle is won. Persistence is the bridge between effort and outcome, the invisible thread that ties struggle to success. It is the proof that resilience is not about one moment of courage, but about a lifetime of endurance. The strongest people are not those who achieve quickly, but those who refuse to quit when achievement takes longer than expected. Persistence is the quiet declaration that says, "I will not stop until I reach the goal." And when you live with persistence, you discover that strength is not about how fast you win, but about how faithfully you endure until victory is inevitable. Chapter 12. Living as Proof of Strength. Strength is not just something you carry. It is something you live. It is not a hidden quality reserved for emergencies, but a daily practice expressed in the way you walk, speak, and choose. Living as proof of strength means embodying resilience in your actions, showing the world that you are not defined by what has happened to you, but by how you rise from it. Strength becomes visible when it is lived, when your choices reflect courage, when your habits reflect discipline, and when your presence inspires others to believe in their own resilience. When you embody strength daily, you inspire others. Your resilience becomes a testimony, a living example that whispers to those around you, "If I can endure, so can you." People are often moved not by words alone, but by the evidence of strength lived out in real life. The way you handle setbacks, the way you forgive, the way you persist, all of these become lessons for those watching. Living as proof of strength means that your life itself becomes a message, one that encourages others to rise above their own struggles. Strength is contagious. When you live it, you pass it on. Living as proof of strength means showing the world that you are stronger than you think and believing it with every step you take. It is not about pretending to be invincible. It is about demonstrating that even in vulnerability, you are unbreakable. It is about carrying yourself with dignity, choosing resilience over despair, and walking with confidence rooted in experience. To live as proof of strength is to embody the truth that strength is not a distant ideal, but a present reality. It is to live in such a way that your life becomes a beacon, reminding others that strength is not something to be admired from afar, but something to be lived, embraced, and shared. Closing summary. You are stronger than you think, not because life is easy, but because you have endured storms that once felt impossible. Strength is not about avoiding hardship. It is about rising through it, believing in yourself when no one else does, and carrying forward with courage even when the path is unclear. This audiobook has been a reminder that your strength is not a distant dream. It is already within you, waiting to be believed, embraced, and lived. Strength is not a single moment of triumph, but a lifetime of resilience. It is the countless times you chose to keep going when quitting seemed easier. It is the patience you showed when progress felt slow. The courage you displayed when fear tried to silence you. And the persistence you carried when the journey stretched longer than expected. Every scar you bear, every lesson you've learned, and every challenge you've overcome is proof that you are stronger than you realize. Strength is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is not about being unbroken. It is about being broken and still refusing to give up. Living with strength means embodying it daily. It means walking with dignity, speaking with conviction, and choosing resilience in the face of adversity. It means inspiring others not by words alone, but by the way you live, by the way you forgive, endure, and rise again. Strength is not just for you. It is for those who watch you, those who learn from you, and those who are encouraged by your example. When you live as proof of strength, you become a beacon of hope, reminding others that they too are stronger than they think. So as you close this journey, remember, strength is not something you wait to receive. It is something you choose to recognize. It is already within you, woven into your story, carried in your scars, and alive in your resilience. Believe it, embrace it, and live it. And when life tests you again, as it surely will rise with confidence, knowing that you are stronger than you think, and that your strength will carry you through every storm into every victory. Thank you for watching and listening to this audiobook. I am truly grateful for your time, your attention, and your willingness to walk through these principles with me. Persistence is not about perfection. It is about continuation. It is the daily choice to rise again, the quiet decision to keep moving forward, and the courageous act of refusing to quit. Wisdom only becomes powerful when it is lived out, when it moves beyond words and becomes action. The end.